You are listening to the Beloit podcast.
On this show, we're joined by Vickie Lynn. Vickie is a writer, comedian, entrepreneur, and one busy person. Coming up in February, that's February 9th, Vickie is hosting the Black Women in Business Expo. That's going to be at the Rock City Art Complex. Also, February 13th, if you'd like to catch Vickie doing stand-up comedy, she's going to be at the Beloit Moose Lodge. All right, let's get into the episode. Enjoy. Where does your story in Beloit begin?
About 1980. We were living in Mississippi, and I was about 4, going on 5, and we moved up here with an aunt, and she had 9 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, so we moved up here, and it was. They were all older than me, so it was an experience, and I learned a lot. Mostly that powdered sugar and cornstarch look exactly the same.
True.
Yes, and that chitlins were not for consumption. My older cousins, shout out to the Websters, taught me a lot about life in that few months that we lived with them. So yeah, we came here about 1980 from Mississippi, and I had to watch commercials on the news a lot to get some of my southern accent out.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I was born in Rockford, Illinois, but we lived in Mississippi during my speech formative years. So yeah, I came up here, I was talking, I said bug and orange soda. So I watched a lot of TV because I got tired of kids picking at me.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I get upset, it still comes out.
Is there any certain moments when you came to Beloit or since being in Beloit that are really standout moments for you? Probably a lot, right? Would you say most of your life was spent here in Beloit?
Oh, yeah. At least I'm 43, almost 44, so at least 35 of my years off and on were here. So, yeah, a lot of memories in Beloit. I've watched it change, drastically.
Tell me some of the change you've seen.
When I got here, Summit Park still had this huge, pipe in the middle of the playground. It was all made of metal. You still, got pretty hurt, but we were tough kids.
I remember
tough kids. But that tunnel, they had to take it down. I remember it was rusted, it was the whole pipe smelled like urine. You
needed a tetanus shot or a hepatitis shot afterwards.
Yes.
Wow.
And now you go over there and it's this plastic, colorful, beautiful, thing over there. But it used to just be this monstrosity in the air, completely made of metal. And it was dangerous.
Great place to go and play.
Yes, and we loved it. I love Summit Park. I love Merrill School. I think going there at a young age, it taught me a lot about Black pride because Merrill was all Black. All our teachers were Black, and going there was something new for me, coming from Mississippi where, basically we were taught, all I saw in authoritative positions were white people. So coming here and going to Merrill and seeing authoritative figures, that looked like me was really a change. Yeah. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. So it gave me a little bit of hope and a little bit of pride, in myself. So I can thank Beloit for that. It had its moments, like I first discovered racism here, believe it or not, coming from Mississippi and discovering racism in the North was a shock to the system.
It's a diverse city.
Yeah,
it's got everything.
It's pretty diverse, and that's another thing I love about it because I learned how to love Madonna and REO Speedwagon here, so. So my whole world is diverse from, entertainment to the things I love in life general, take me to Starbucks and also, take me to a rhythm and blues concert. So, yeah.
How long before you realized you wanted to be a stand-up comedian?
I was 37.
So quite a bit of growing up before you realized.
It was not early. I always wanted to be a writer.
A writer?
Oh, yeah. I loved words from the beginning. I wanted to be a writer or an actor or a photographer or a journalist, but everything was artistic. I knew when I was 4 in Mississippi what I wanted to do. 4 years old, I'm like, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to be a painter. I'm going to be a journalist. I'm going to write books. I'm going to, create art, and I'm going to change the world, and people are going to love me. And then when I was 37, I went to a comedy show for the first time, and I literally had one of those outer body epiphanies or visions or whatever, and I'm watching the comedian, shout out to Emmett Cannon, I'm watching him on stage, and everything got dark and everything got silent, and I was just enveloped by this light, and it said, that's what you should be doing. And then boom, everything was back, and I could hear noise again, and I was just like, okay.
That's usually a sign.
Yeah, that's usually a sign. And I can remember that moment, just, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Yep. And that's what happened. And I went up to him afterwards, and I was like, I think I can do this. I bet you hear this all the time, but I think I can do that. And he was like, okay. And so we became friends on Facebook, and one day he inboxed me. He was like, yeah, I think you can do this. And so I've always been told that I was funny. You know, I grew up with a mother who was sick, and when you're chronically ill, it messes with you mentally. Mm-hmm. So I used to have to do everything to try to make her happy.
Right.
And I would put on shows and dress up and just come in a room like, look, Mom. And she encouraged it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Was there anything else? Did you try any writing or all that stuff? Anything else besides comedy before comedy came up?
Yeah. I was on the Rockford Poetry Slam circuit for a while. I used to go out there and do poetry slams and do poetry open mics, and I used to write, and I had even got to the point where, I had got a whole book of poetry copyrighted in the Library of Congress, so I got something over there. And then I got sick. My kidneys failed, so for 10 years, I didn't do anything.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was. I don't wish dialysis on anybody, so that just kind of deterred me from doing anything. Basically, all I could do was get up every day, make sure my kids were fed, and go to dialysis and come back and go to sleep. That was my life for 8 years. And then for 2 years after that, I had to figure out, okay, I'm not sick anymore, now what? So it took me 2 years to get it together. And then I went to that comedy show, and life changed.
Wow, that's awesome. Let's talk about some of your favorite places in Beloit. You mentioned Summit Park.
Yeah.
You got any other favorite places in Beloit?
Anywhere where there's water.
Okay.
That's probably in the top 10 reasons why I haven't moved, because any other city, it would be horribly expensive to live by water.
Yes.
And no matter where I've lived in Beloit, the Riverside Park has always been within walking distance.
Yeah.
Always. So, for 12 years, I lived right at the top of, what is that over there? By Burger King, and it's Maple? Is that Maple, that little street? I lived on Ridgeland and Oak, so, I could always see the fireworks from wherever I was, and the water was just a walk away. So Riverside, Beckman Mill, Big Hills Park, the overlook of the Rock River. Even when I was a little girl, when I was a teenager, whenever I was having a bad day, I could come down and sit by that river and just pretend that all my problems just leaped onto the water and went away. Yeah. And I would feel great.
That is pretty nice.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what inspires you.
So many things. So many things. Even though I don't partake in religion or politics, I try my hardest to stay away from them. But if you're dealing with people, it's gonna come up.
Definitely.
But even through that, I'm inspired, because whatever people believe in, it can create the worst in them, or it creates the best in them. So I always try to look for the best in any situation to be inspired. And the cliche, oh, my children inspire me. Yeah, no.
Next.
No, they do. I wanted to show them better, that's it, so whenever I think about what I want to do, I think about, would my kids be proud of me? So would my mother be proud of me? So yeah. They're in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody, people inspire me. The human condition inspires me, because I think every artist, no matter what you create, their one goal is to create something so amazing that it changes the world for the better. I don't care what you do. Every artist who doesn't have malintent wants to change the world with that one great artistic piece. So that's what we're all looking for. So that inspires me. It's like, how can I make this world better? Because I just want to live in it.
That's right. Art as a survival instinct.
Right. Like, I don't want to struggle. I want to live easy, like sitting on the front porch drinking lemonade easy.
Can I make a couple grumpy people happy? I want to ask about podcasts. Do you listen to podcasts much? And if so...
No, and that's because I'm a visual learner. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, Beloit podcast. I don't.
No Joe Rogan, no Mark Maron, no.
No, I grew up deaf. I grew up not being able to hear well. I didn't get my first hearing aid until I was 36 years old. So I'm still a visual learner. I still have to see people's lips moving. If I listen to a podcast, I have to play it really loud. Yeah. And it's rare that I'm somewhere where I can play things really loud.
That makes sense.
Plus, I have short attention span. I'll start listening to something and then they'll say something and I'll be like, oh yeah, I gotta go take that out of the oven. Or, oh yeah, I forgot to pick up shower curtain hooks. So my mind is always on the move.
I know you got one of these, a favorite quote.
Bloom where you were planted.
Where does that come from?
I forgot who said it. There's no specific person who said it. I know they have an era from where it came and who they first heard say it. Yeah. But I haven't been able to find exactly who said it. But bloom where you are planted is my favorite quote because I spent so much time like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I can't grow here. I can't do this.
I think a lot of people go through that here. Yeah.
And that's how I felt about Beloit for a long time. I got to get out of here. I can't be creative here. I'm living the same day over and over again. And then I read that quote somewhere, bloom where you are planted, and it resonated with me. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm already dope. I'm already great. I can cultivate who I am wherever I am. And right now I'm planted in Beloit. So let's bloom. Let's do what we can here while we're here. And if life takes me somewhere else, I'll carry that with me. So, I love bloom where you were planted. That's what made me, start my business. It was like, I don't have this, I don't have that. It's like, let's just work with what we got.
Let's talk about that. You're doing a new business. Tell people the name of the business and what you're doing.
Okay, my business is Vickie Lynn's Naturals. For the past 3 years, I got into making my own natural products. After my kidney transplant, I was taking post-transplant meds, and they started causing diabetes. And I was once 300 pounds and never had a problem with diabetes. So I started looking into ways to avoid, having to stick myself with insulin and take more medication for more side effects. And this was just an endless cycle that I was ready to stop. So once I started looking into eating healthier, everything else just fell into place. Like, well, your toothpaste has this in it, and your lotion has that in it, and you might as well be putting antifreeze on your skin. Yes. And I was just like, wait, what? So I started looking into making my own natural products. And so for 3 years, I was making everything for myself. And people would always come up to me and was like, your skin's so soft. What are you doing? Like this. And I was like, oh, I'm just using this. So I'll share this stuff on Facebook regularly. Like, this is what you do. Nobody listens. Yep. Nobody pays attention. And so my mother passed away back in October. And I could not work mentally. I could not work mentally and physically for 3 weeks. I was sick. And I was just like, I still have to pay bills. And I was sitting there and I'm like, what do I do? And a friend of mine, Cameron, he was talking about toothpaste. And I was like, oh, well, I'll make some toothpaste. I'll give you some. And he hit me the next day. He was like, this stuff is amazing. You should sell this. And I was like, I think you're right. And I just started selling it. Yeah. I was sitting there listening to him in my head, and I'm putting on my turmeric facial scrub. And I'm like, yeah.
I'm going to sell this.
I'm going to sell this. And then I was like, I don't have any labels. I don't have any containers. Like, I had them because I've been making it for my kids. I've been giving my kids stuff and my mom and everybody. So I have mason jars all over the place. And I always save glass jars from pickles and banana peppers and Marciano cherries, whatever I use, I kept the glass jars. So that's what I started out of. Then I went to Family Dollar. I bought blank labels. I bought some containers. I spent like $50 and bloom where you are planted. And I just started making it for everybody. Got on Facebook like, hey, I sell this now, buy it.
Yeah.
And people started buying it.
Yeah, it's been great to see. I'm kind of the same way. I like having the natural products because I have kids also. And as soon as we had our first kid, I started reading into the ingredients on everything. I don't know why, but I did. And then you start hitting that downward spiral of, oh, I can't touch a lot of things.
Yes. And then you're like, what do I do? And you realize nature has already given us everything. Everything. Even if you believe everything the Bible says, it says in there, I have created all these herbs and seeds for you
and they
to
do a
be
lot
great.
Of things. Yeah. Use them.
Use them.
Let's move on to advice or comments for fellow Beloiters. This is a fun one.
I gotta be easy with this one because I have learned that when you are trying to teach somebody, shouting doesn't work. They only hear the tone. They don't hear the actual words, no matter how spot on you are. So I just want to say to fellow Beloiters, spend some time by yourself. Spend some time by yourself, away from your phones, away from the screens. You do not have to look to the rest of the world to figure out who you are. You do not have to follow the trends. You don't even have to listen to everything they say at school, okay? You have to learn to think for yourself. And if you're constantly around people, if you're constantly watching TV, if you're constantly on social media, you are not getting the full benefits of thinking for yourself. It's nothing wrong with being inspired by the rest of the world, but everything you need is already in you, okay? And Beloit is a great place. Stop listening to the rest of the world tell you, you gotta hate this person, you gotta dislike this person, you can't like these people, you can't do this, you can't do that. Stop it. Mm-hmm. Stop it. And just your heart and your mind and your spirit will always give you what you need if you take a breather and listen to it. And just be kinder and stop speeding. Beloit is too small for speeding. It just really is.
I hear that from so many people.
It
Stop
takes
speeding.
5 minutes to get everywhere.
If you're going down
Beloit,
6th
you
Street,
do not need to speed. And
6th Street is terrible for speeders.
Most people are speeding to get to the two places they complain about more than anything, work and home.
Right.
So why are you speeding?
If you're on 9th Street, why are you speeding?
Thank you. Yeah, stop speeding.
Last question. What's next? I know you probably have a million things going on.
We'll try to be quick because I got so much coming up and I want to get it all in here. So there's the Black Women in Business Expo Beloit coming up February 9th, and I'm really, really excited about that because when I started this business, I was like, okay, I don't know who to talk to. I had plenty of friends in business, but I had none that looked like me. I had none who knew the struggles and the insecurity you can feel as a Black woman trying to do stuff, because whether you like to hear it or not, Black women are severely oppressed. They're severely misused and invisible to a degree. Like, we've come so far. Black women are the highest percentage of college graduates, so we've come a long way, but we still have to deal with that invisibility problem. So I was like, are there any other Black women businesses here? Like, I need to talk to them, because if somebody comes to me and is like, oh, do you do hair stuff? I'm like, no, but I don't know who does. So that's the reason I started this expo. And so I found a bunch of women who are in this area who have businesses, who are hustling just like I am. And so I started, okay, let's do this. Yeah. And I started this vendor expo, and it's like 15 women are going to be there February 9th at the Rock City Art Complex, which is also a Black-owned business. They have photography over there, tattoos, barbershop, hair salon, like everything you need. They sell T-shirts, like they sell food over there. Like it's a one-stop shop, and I felt it best to do it there because they also have, rooms that you can rent, throw parties and all that stuff in. So we're doing that there, and I have, Reflections of Us is there, and they have melanated beauty and strength products. And if you mention this podcast when you stop by their booth, you will get a special discount.
Nice.
Lash by Lachey offers a variety of different styles of lashes, from dramatic to natural, and your lashes can be used up to 10 times, and shipping is available worldwide. Mention this podcast at their booth for a special offer. Paparazzi jewelry is $5 jewelry that's nickel and lead free. Brandy Kenny will be there. Stop by her booth. We'll have Mary Kay products by Jennifer Franklin, and Visions of Beauty Designs, handcrafted jewelry and accessories. They do customized orders. And Bling 360 is out of Beloit. She customizes like whatever you bring to her, like coffee mugs, wine glasses, T-shirts, like whatever you bring to her, she can like design it, throw some glitter on it, cast a magic spell, and bam, it's awesome. Wow.
Nice.
So, yeah, and then we're sponsoring 2 charities. We have the Center of Hope. It's an after-school program over on Harvey, 1400 Harvey Street at New Life Church, and they have. I went over there the other day. They have kids in the after-school program there, and they're teaching them. They're doing artwork. They have recreation, but they could always use more help.
Right.
And they have a great little stage there, so they want to start open mics for the children and stuff, and do shows for the children, so we want to give back to them. And then there's the Kendall Sherman Foundation that's run by Tamika Fricks, and she's out of Rockford, and they work and support parents of asthmatic children, to help them with information and financial support should they need it. And we have Blessed Divine Creations over there. They do event planning for weddings and receptions and baby showers, and Zant Sweet Inspiration. She has handmade journals and altered books, prayer and Bible study journals for everybody. And so we just have a lot going on. And Hidden Gems, also Clancy's food vendor will be there. Tamika To Go food vendor will be there. Tamika Davis with her food will be there. So we have speakers. Marijuana Van Dyke will be there. She works in the college education system, so she will be there talking about the importance of college in the community. We have Tashika Perry. She will be there. She does real estate, so she'll be talking about home ownership. And we also have Gina Stevens. She'll be there. She'll be talking about public relations and marketing your business and business branding. And also Linda Hickman will be there talking about parental involvement in your child's education. So yes, we are doing everything. And also I have some comedy shows coming up. I have comedy shows coming up in Milwaukee and Chicago and Beloit. I will be at the Beloit Moose Lodge February 13th. So Beloiters, if you want to come hear me be funny, definitely come check me out. That's February 13th at 8 o'clock at the Moose Lodge on Gale Street. So I'll also be in Janesville February 23rd. So I have a lot coming up, and I look forward to it. And Nani Lynn's All Natural Skincare is doing great. I'm really happy that Beloit is, starting to say, hey, okay, maybe we don't need alcohol or propylene glycol in our lotion.
It's a chance.
Yeah.
What's the best place for people to keep up with you online?
Let's see. Social media, Vickie Lynn's Universe on Instagram and Facebook, and Vickie Lynn on Facebook. Nani Lynn's Naturals at yahoo.com. Yeah, Nani Lynn's Naturals on Instagram, Nani Lynn's Naturals on Facebook, and I'm in Beloit. I'm always here, so definitely you can find me. Just Google Vickie Lynn comedian, Google Nani Lynn's Naturals, and you will find me. And definitely come out to the Beloit Black Women in Business Beloit Expo. Tickets are only $1, and the only reason I'm charging $1 to get in for you to spend more money is because that's what we're going to be using to donate to our charities, the Center of Hope After School Program and the Kendall Sherman Foundation. So, and look those two places up and donate even if you aren't coming, because everybody could use support. That's what a community does.
Well, Vickie, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, sir.
I